Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Shout out to First in the building. Carlos Rosado is on deck. Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-side official. No negotiation needed. Period. Big shout out on a Sunday morning, man. You already know what it is. Salute to the ones who's tuned in. Good morning, WCS. Salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game. We A-side official. Tyrese on deck. What's good? Don Von Juan is in the building. Salute WCS in the hottest chat in the MFing game. Big Blunts and Boxing. The GOAT is on deck. What's good with it? I see you. So if you don't know, you know what I'm saying, we're going to get to the thumbnail and all that, right? We're going to get to the thumbnail and all that. But I wanted to talk about Keyshawn Davis. You know, it was a point in time where I knew the youngin' before he even took this road on the professional ranks. You know what I'm saying? When I was in them boxing streets. And, you know, I know this don't look like Keyshawn now. It's called growing up. It's called maturity. And Keyshawn is doing, you know, business, man. You know, Keyshawn is doing what he's supposed to do in boxing. He's building a brand. He's putting his brothers on. I mean, what more can you say about a guy, you know, that's in a sport that's unforgiving? He's up here bringing his brothers up and getting them paid too. That's business to me. That's business to me. So when he stepped in there and fought Wu Albright, you know, there was a lot of rumors circulating that this was going to be extreme. I saw people talking about it was going to be an upset alert. You know what I'm saying? You heard the stories. They called him Woo because every time he does something, he was doing things in the gym and people say, "Woo, woo." You know what I'm saying? So they start calling him Woo. So last night, you know, Keyshawn Davis, who went into this fight 9-0, right? 9-0 with 6 knockouts. He went to his first majority decision. 10-0. 24 years old, 10-0. This is the way I look at this whole situation. So many people riding this dude off at 10 fights. You know what I'm saying? Because he went in there and had a decision. Boxing has to stop just doing that. You know what I'm saying? They have to stop riding these youngins off just because they didn't go in there and get a knockout. No boxer has all knockouts like that. It's just terribly impossible for that shit to happen. You can't get all knockouts in your entire career. Sitting at goddamn 75-0 and 75 knockouts. I guarantee you, people are going to be looking at you like, okay, let's take a segment out just to scrutinize and break down his resume and see how did this happen? You know what I'm saying? How did this happen? Is he even human? You know what I'm saying? Was he an AI clone? How did he do this? But he went in there against Albright. And the fight was close now. Keyshawn has this way of fighting, and it seems like he's not taking it serious enough. Like you don't see his face all frowned up, angry, like he's really gritting down. Maybe that's what it's going to take for him moving forward with this competition, to stop being so carefree about it. Now I can understand where people are gonna say that may be the way he just fight, but he had to go in there against Andy Cruz, and he had to bite down. You know what I'm saying? He has to bite down. You have to make it ugly sometime. That means your facial expressions, your behavior, your mannerisms, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it ugly. You got to get grimy with it. And I know Keyshawn was kind of showboating a little bit and trying to make it seem like it was easy. Maybe it's time for you just to say, I'm coming in there. I'm gonna stay mean the whole time instead of trying to make it look smooth and stuff like that. Look, I'm not riding Keyshawn off for 10 fights, but I do believe that it'd be good if he just get that switch turned on, where he's not trying to be so carefree, cool, collective with opponent that's in there that's equal to your competition level. You know what I'm saying? And John Basil had to fight 95-95. Robert Hoyle had it 96-94, and David Sutherland had it 97-93. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying this was for the WBC USA lightweight title. And shout out to Wu Albright. That dude started to open up a little bit too late, but he did catch Keyshawn some of those times where Keyshawn, he would push his opponent out, and he just think, okay, I'm pushing you off, and I don't expect anything in return. I'm gonna push you off, and you're gonna allow me to just walk towards you and receive what's next. And Albright wasn't having that. I remember one time Keyshawn pushed him up against the ropes, and he was walking in there, and Albright caught him with an overhand right, and that hurt Keyshawn, man. You got to be careful with that shit. Like the opponents they putting him in there with, the airtime that he's getting, you know what I'm saying? He has to, be smart. He has to be a smarter tactician. You know what I'm saying? He has to be smarter with his delivery. He has to process fights better when he moves up in competition. You know what I'm saying? Albright came in there with a 16-2 record. And yes, Keyshawn has fought guys with way more experience. All right. But maybe it's time with this first majority decision that you really, start getting mean with it and limit the showboat. You need to go back to the Olympics, Keyshawn, when you was in there fighting, Andy Cruz, and you was in there for a dog fight. You know what I'm saying? You need to go back when you was in there for a dog fight. I know it's professional ranks and you want to make it look easy, but every fight ain't going to look easy for you, bro. Every fight is not going to look easy for you. You still a youngin'. I don't know if you grown in your grown man strength yet. Probably not. But I would definitely say moving forward, I would do, a little less showboating and keep that switch on, and certain things that you do, like pushing your opponent off, trying to bully your opponent, which ain't nothing wrong with that. Just don't take them for granted that they're not gonna bully you back. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it for granted, big dog. Don't take it for granted that they ain't gonna bully you back. Shout out to my guy. Hold on for a second. Find out where you at. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo, aka Hot Grease, in the building. What it do, Gumbo? Salute WCS, my big bro, and the hottest chat in the game, no doubt about it, man. Salute to you on a Sunday, man. Hope all is well with you and the fam, man. Shout out to Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw. The News by Shaw News is in the building. Dudes be boxing haters. I want the fighters they don't like to look bad, so they can say, I told you he wasn't like that. And that's kind of where I'm at with these guys. Like, it's really not how you start, it's how you know what I'm saying, how you do when you get in the race. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn ain't in the race yet. You know what I'm saying? He's still in the warm-up phases. Real talk. You know, Keyshawn has a lot to learn, and his competition is still going to get, you know, tougher and tougher. You know, just like, you know, we see all the other fighters that's coming up in the ranks. I can't speak for every promotion, but for what I hear going on with Keyshawn Davis, man, and people trying to ride him off because he didn't get a freaking UD, I'm like, damn, man, do y'all know how hard boxing is? The only thing the one thing, the 2, 3, whatever things I'm criticizing him about is, you know, you need to stop being so carefree in there and really go in there and make it nasty, man. You know, just go in there. If you believe in your strength and everything, go in there and make it grimy and nasty, man. And also basically execute the game plan. You know, every fight that you step in this ring, you're not going to be able to just make it look easy. Oh, Keyshawn, he like that. He just make it look easy. I know of some fighters that can do that. Like Shakur Stevenson, Bud Crawford, you know, but when Bud Crawford bite down, you can tell when he unleashed that motherfucking that animal, you can tell the animal's being unleashed. He ain't in there trying to be cute with it. I don't like using the word cute with dudes, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to boxing, but dudes can be in there looking a little too cute at what they're trying to do in the ring. Sometimes you got to throw being cute out the window and get grimy with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Shakur Stevenson make tough situations look easy, but just because y'all all linked up together, that Bud Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn, doesn't mean all of you are going to be able to fight the same. You know what I'm saying? Be able to go in there and just make it look so simple. It's not going to happen. Every one of you are not going to be able to have the same pace. You know what I'm saying? Be so conservative. You're not going to be able to do it, brother. Especially when you increase your level, you advance your level of competition. It becomes tougher. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying with Keyshawn, man. You know, he only has freaking 10 fights now. And people are already saying that, you know, he disappointed and all. That's like, what? It's just like, you know, Jahad Tucker took his first loss. Did he really take his first loss? Do anybody believe that Jahad Tucker is washed up? You know what I'm saying? You'll be a fool to believe that. But with boxing, when you're a name on TV, you boxing inside that frame on the network, people are going to be watching you from all over. Real talk, they're going to be watching you from all over. And they're going to start making their critiques and criticism and all that. And y'all have to understand, especially content creators, that boxers, people shoot them links all the time on what y'all be saying about them. You know what I'm saying? Even what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure people shoot links back and forth. But when you get the youngins that's coming up, and we know who they are, like Jahad is incredibly young. I think he's like 20 years old, something like that. Incredibly young, you know, but still has a whole entire landscape ahead of him. Keyshawn Davis, you know, Shushu Karen. It's just a lot of boxers that's young, that's fighting on TV, that are being looked at, and it's easy for them to be critiqued because they're constantly showing up on the schedule. You know what I'm saying? They're constantly showing up on the schedule. You know? So when y'all say that Keyshawn, you know, you trying to absolutely slide in there like he overrated, I'm like, damn, why don't y'all get in there and go 2 or 3 rounds? You know, stop the bullshit. I mean, y'all think the shit easy. You know, you going in there, y'all act like y'all been in gyms and y'all just say, oh, I don't care who it is. Now, I don't care what weight class. I'm here for sparring, right? I don't care. Give me whoever you want to give me. I don't care. Y'all act like y'all built like that. Like, yeah, just give me anybody. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm built for this, man. Just throw me in there with anybody. It's not happening, bro. You know, you're not walking in any gym talking about I'm gonna go spar anybody in the gym. There's some dudes that slick in the gym that just can't be slick in the ring when it comes to the bright lights. There's some slick ass motherfuckers in the gym, man. And I guess to them, they have basically committed themselves to just being in the gym. And they slick as hell. But when it comes time for them to show out, they can't get it done. That doesn't mean they can't fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, Shaw News. I think you did snap that picture. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when we was in that Jersey. You know what I'm saying? We was in Jersey. They wouldn't know about that. They wouldn't know about that. I don't know why you putting up all this history, man. Newark. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I have good memories about that. Authentic Jamaican food. Oh, God damn, that shit was good. I'm not here to bring up memories to get people salivating on a Sunday and then be driving around trying to find a Jamaican restaurant. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm pretty sure you did snap that picture, man. Congrats to Bud and Bomac, but I'm not surprised because they were actively whooping ass. They got active, and now the award have been activated. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dudes be boxing. Keyshawn seemed a bit too hyped last night. Once he relaxes more in the ring, he's going to be more dangerous. He come with experience, but solid win. Look, this is what I see with Keyshawn. Keyshawn has a lot of responsibility, first of all. You got some cats in him not just fight for themselves, they fight for them families too. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bud Crawford, Chris Stevens. Chris Stevens fighting for a lot of people. Keyshawn is fighting for a lot of people, right? I hear people say all the time his brothers is not as good as him. Do his brothers supposed to be as good as he is? You know, if his brother is giving them the gateway to make money in a professional sport, all of them are fighting in a professional sport. You know, they're gonna grow as they grow, man. But god damn, boxing fans, man, y'all be tripping sometimes. Like the man says it's all about business. He's always, ever since I met Keyshawn, he's always wanted to put his brothers, you know, hey, this is my brother, this is my brother. His brothers was always nearby, man. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them so many places. His brothers are always somewhere. What's wrong with family being on deck? And what's wrong with goddamn Keyshawn being a businessman and getting his brother a paycheck? You know how difficult it is to get your brother on deck? You know how difficult it is to get your brother on deck and under a promotion? That's a lot of freaking weight on you. And then also, I think it was Carlo who said that he's a bit too hyped. With Keyshawn, he's continuing to go in there and he has to outdo his last performance, in my opinion. He has to outdo his last performance. He has continued to get, you know, to grow and get better and better and better. So that is very, very difficult when you're going in there against elite competitions. Elite competition. Everybody's expecting you to continue. They never satisfied. Like when Jihad beat up Nico Sheknesvili. When he did that, you know, that performance was golden, man, but it pissed some people off. And you know, I don't know when it comes to the dynamic of trash talking beneath the promotional umbrella. But I know Keyshawn has talked more trash than a lot of boxers that signed in that promotion. You know, unfortunately for Jahai, he had one of the best performances you'll see. I mean, that shit was straight up a mic drop, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Xander, come pick your fucking mans up was just, it was nasty. But even though it was nasty to us and we sit up here and celebrate it, I guess certain people got upset. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they just start feeding them hard ass opposition after that. But once again, one thought process you need to always keep close to your heart when it comes to boxing. is that you need to look at the age, you need to look at the landscape, you know what I'm saying, with these boxers, and you need to look at them as a fighter and what their growth range is. A lot of these fighters are doing something that fighters don't ever get a chance to do at that age. We have fighters, that's coming in here making their debut fighting on TV. You're fighting under the scrutiny and the lens. You're fighting in front of the lens, man, of millions that's tuned in to watch you. So last night for Keyshawn to perform the way he did, people acting like he didn't perform well. He just was in there with a slick dude who said, okay, this round right here, I'm gonna start turning up. And then he started to have his moments in there. And there was a couple of times I thought that he hurt Keyshawn. But Keyshawn's gonna have to remember that everything cannot be carefree. You have to go to war sometimes. You have to really have your guard up. You have to really be alert. You can't just think you're gonna go in there and walk over your opponents and make it look easy and walk back to the corner. No, you gotta walk back to the corner with a sense of urgency. Sit down, let your freaking corner, do what they're supposed to do and get ready. Everything's not gonna be pretty, bro. And remember that I told you, people, if he continue to act, walk, and do what he do, just be so carefree about stuff and start having these tough fights. People are going to say the same thing I'm doing. They just don't want to say it right now. They busy up here talking about he a bum, he overhyped. Not so much a bum, he overhyped. I don't think he overhyped. I just think he needs to lock in to another level and stop being so carefree, walking back to the ring and all that. I mean, look, I'm not in that with these cats. But just because a guy had a majority decision, y'all trying to act like the guy picked up a loss. I mean, damn. Shout out to Martin King Boxing in the building. What's good with it, Ron? That was a great matchup, Bob Aaron. Don't do light touches. I see. Now here was a dog. He was a dog, man. Cat like him in the gym, man. You can tell that dude was slick. And see, people want Keyshawn to step in there with fighters like that. And all them other fighters too. They want him to continue to get tough fighters. But you're saying, okay, he's stepping up competition. We're getting tough fighters. Tough fighters don't necessarily have to be the ones with the most fights. Tough fighters can be the ones that haven't got their opportunity. The ones that get their opportunity, and that opportunity is against a name like Keyshawn Davis. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to step up. They're going to try to level up to their competition that night. They're going to try to come in there and perform the best they ever performed in their freaking boxing life. You got the fight, the people in your home, your backyard talking about it. Oh man, he going there and fight Keyshawn. I'm gonna do this. Oh my God. Oh man, I ain't see that. Man, you got a big name. You can't tell me nobody in his hometown and say, man, you had there fighting Keyshawn. Oh, okay. Man, that's a big name and all that. He had people tuned in. He didn't want to go in there and lay down. He didn't want to go lay down, bro. He wanted to go in there and fight. He wanted to go in there and fight, man. He wanted to go in there and be a great representation of himself and the people that support him, his team, his family, you know what I'm saying? Everything. And I believe, definitely Albright to get a call back up. Real talk. He'll get a call back up and watch what I tell you. He's going to upset somebody. I don't know what his dedication is. He's 16-2. Let me take a little peek, right? Let me take a little peek at what his activities looking like. So this is his second fight in 23. All right. He came off majority decision win over Carlos Balderas in July this year. In 2022, he fought twice. He lost to Jermaine Ortiz, which we know that's another hitter, that's coming up. He lost a UD decision. So if you look at his losses, yeah, Jermaine Ortiz been a tough fight, but with Albright, he's looking to erase stepping up with big opponents. You know what I'm saying? Even though his saving grace right now is that he isn't getting stopped, he has 2 majority decision losses and 1 UD loss. So he's sitting at 3 losses. He hasn't been stopped, and he has 7 KOs. So right now, the stamp that he has on him is the big fights. He hasn't been able to get it done. He's not getting stopped or knocked out. But the crazy part about that is when the man initially came into the the professional ranks, he lost his first fight like B-Hop. That doesn't mean the man is done. He's 16-3 right now, and his first 2 step ups in recent years has been against Jermaine Ortiz and Keyshawn Davis. And you know what I'm saying? He lost a UD to Jermaine Ortiz, and he lost a majority decision. And this dude is 27 years old, so he has time. I'm telling you, Albright, if he stays consistent, man, he's gonna be something to reckon with. But peep this out. When he lost to Jermaine Ortiz, the scorecard was like 97-93. There was much more closer when he fought Keyshawn Davis. So is Albright getting better? Because Jermaine Ortiz was 14-0. Keyshawn Davis was 9-0. Is he getting better? You know what I'm saying? Is he improving? If he stays active, is he continuing to improve? We have to see. Because right now, his 2 step-up fights against Ortiz and Davis, he lost. But he's only 27 years old. He had a 70.5-inch reach. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see this man disappearing anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I would have liked to make some money on those fights last night, but I haven't been able to lock in a goddamn consistent bookie. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't do it down here in GA. It is against the rules and policies that set therefore in Georgia law. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree. He said, Shanu said, Shakur Stevens and Bud released them demons. Yeah, man. See, that's what I'm talking about with Shakur Stevens and Bud. When they really, flip that switch on, it. You can see it on their face. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their mannerisms. With Keyshawn Davis, it just seems like he, you know what I'm saying? He just danced at that pace. And there's nothing wrong with being cool hand Luke. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with being cool hand Luke. But sometimes you have to walk in the room and become the equalizer. You have to goddamn go in there with the intent of mass casualties. You have to take that scene and go into that round like this is the scene right here. This is where I collect the bodies. I only have one in front of me, and I'm about to create a whole nother scene. You know what I'm saying? You have to go in that mentality, bro. You have to go in there for carnage. And we see that, definitely. I agree, Shanu. You see that with Bud and Shakur Stevenson. But with Keyshawn, he's a little bit too carefree sometimes, walking back to the ring, and when he should be in there trying to have a bit more sense of urgency and let people know, hey, you said it was going to be something viral. Well, people didn't get anything viral except, your opponent, Albright, landing a good shot on you and hurting you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you play to the camera and when they're giving you all this airtime, you got to start owning up to it. If you don't think you can own up to it and you don't really know your opponent, you think he's going to be tough, just talk a little shit, let it ride, and then go in the ring and do what you have to do. But you got to get it. You got to get that you got to flip that switch there, Keyshawn. They tripping on you, bro. You got to flip that switch on, bro. You got to go in there and just get mean with it. You can box your ass off. You can goddamn you Olympian, silver champion, and you got the pedigree, bro. It's just, some people think you're being a little bit too cute with, in between rounds and how you going in there believing, you're trying to convince people that you're gonna make it look easy, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? You got to go in there and get grimy, bro. It seems like he wants to get rid of that anxiety when he fights. Starts second half, he look better, but he'll get better as more fights come in. See, Carlos got confidence in him. We got confidence in Keyshawn. One majority decision does not end a career. It's just with boxing, and boxing has some of the worst septic tank freaking media, goddamn toilet bowl segues you ever know, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the media that these cats put out, the straight shit sometimes. They'll shit on the fighter quick. They will shit on the fighter quick, bro. Okay, 20 years old. A lot of landscape remaining, man. A lot of landscape remaining. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying he didn't lose his last fight. But Jahai has a lot of landscape. And if there's any word I have for Team Tucker, you know what I'm saying? It's not a race with y'all. I mean, Jahai is so talented that he's gonna get his. You know what I'm saying? It's not a race, man. The dude is 20 years old, and he's extremely talented. He would get his. Apparently, Keyshawn is dealing with serious chronic gastrointestinal issue. I know a little something about that. You can feel great, then all of a sudden it feels like you took Prozac. I know. I deal. That's one of the things I know personally. But he said that he brought in a nutritionist, and shout out to MD Mills in the building. He said he brought in a nutritionist for that, and he's been feeling better. The one thing about the gastrointestinal issue, it's really all about what you put in your system. And if they give you something to control that acid, you know what I'm saying, that your whole movement, internal movement, your bowel movement and stuff like that, your stomach acid is powerful. It is. So he said he changed his nutritionist and he felt good. I don't think that is something I'm going to use as to why he was being a little bit too carefree for me in a fight like this. You know what I'm saying? He said he changed his nutrition and he was great. This is one of the training camps that he felt like, well, I didn't have to worry about getting sick. You know what I'm saying? I deal with that periodically myself. So I know where he's coming from. But I wouldn't pretty much insert that into his performance appraisal to say, well, he's battling that. No, man, he's turned up in previous fights than this that I thought he was much more intensive, in my opinion. In my opinion, it seemed like he was much more aggressive. But he said he changed his nutrition and things are looking on the up and up. It's crazy how people talk about young fighters looking bad and take a loss. Some of you hating ass grown men and women still losing and taking multiple losses. Yeah, talk to him, Gumbo. You know what I'm saying? Spit that wisdom. You know what I'm saying? You're still taking loss in life, but you're sitting up here criticizing these cats in a sport that's unforgiving. Boxing is unforgiving, bro. Boxing is unforgiving. Real talk. Unforgiving. In order for you to think about, getting that residual income and doing what you got to do to survive once you hang them gloves, once you knock them gloves, everybody don't get that opportunity. You got people be mad and talking about take what you get. They don't understand that you got to make as much money as you possibly can So you won't have to take what you get. You know what I'm saying? You continue to grow and grow and grow. You're able to put that money aside, invest it in something so that money can work for you when you out the sport. Boxing doesn't automatically give you that retirement plan. It's no package for you when you retire. There's no retirement ceremony. You see MMA fighters retiring in the ring. You know, a lot of people say, okay, they've been over the hill, but you know, this fight right here did it for them. Okay, I'm retiring. Some stay gone. They have a gym or something they willing to teach, and they on a fixed income, or they made enough money in their career to invest. It's making money for them, you know, open a school, whatever the case. But not everybody want to be a teacher. Not everybody want to be associated with the gym when they hang up the gloves. You know, so you have to be that person while you're active as a fighter to negotiate your worth. People get mad when fighters negotiating their worth. We just had an incident where, you know, the Frank Martin situation when he turned down $1 million. Well, Frank Martin must be doing pretty damn decent for himself to turn down $1 million. Seriously. I don't know how that's the case. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's payday or whatever. But hopefully that don't come back to bite him in the ass. Hopefully it don't take him another 2 to 3 years to get $1 million paycheck again. For Shakur Stevenson, a lot of what went on in that debacle was fabricated, you know, numbers that was put out to the social media. But at the end of the day, I always go back to Teofimo Lopez and how he was able to negotiate one of the biggest fights of his career. Just because Teo was able to do it don't mean another fighter can't do it. He negotiated his Lomachenko fight. You got to stand up. You got to stand up. At one point in time, you got to stand up and negotiate. You got to stand up and try to get some sponsorships. You got to work to get these sponsorships. You have to work to get these sponsorships, to get that extra money, to get that, you know, whether it's a brand or whatever, title, rival, you know, they want to sponsor and give you free equipment. Cool. That's helpful. That's shit that you don't have to come out your pocket for sparring, you know, and all that other shit. And working out, that's equipment that you have. Fighting underneath the bright lights is a whole other stage. It is, man. It is. Real talk. It is. It's amazing. Hold on for a second. All right. Yeah, man. Gumbo dropping that hot grease, man. Yeah, I tell anybody, you know, one of the most exciting fights that I seen, you talking about boxers on the come up, you know what I'm saying, was Nico and Jihad. That was a damn good fight right there. That was a classic fight. That's one of the best fights I've been ringside to watch. Real talk. Real talk. And, you know, he'll be back. 20 years old, man. He got so much time ahead of him, man. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn and Kevin are both 10-0 with 6 knockouts. Yeah, I mean, you know, I look at it more perspective that, you know, the Davis brothers are there. He's making all of his brothers. That's to be respected. You know how difficult it is to do that in boxing? You know what I'm saying? You're all about your business. Yeah, you're all about your business. Now you need to be all about performance and getting in there and getting mean. I mean, you got your family on, but you got to change levels now. You know what I'm saying? You understand? You're constantly changing with the system. You understand? You know, your family's happy. Your mom, dad, you know, your family's happy. You showing them what a young man could do early in his career. So being that you got that tied in, now you need to start thinking about, okay, how do I start building myself up to get this first title shot? Because these belts are about to become open at 135 in the next 12 months now. Shakur Stevenson is about to be the first one real soon to fight for the WBC. And there's going to be a dilemma. I don't know how long Shakur Stevens is going to be at 135, but it's going to be a dilemma there where Shakur said he's not going to fight Keyshawn Davis. So therefore, when you look at the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, you have 3 other straps out there. And some of these names that you see, let's see if they're able to get this strap in 14 or 15 fights at the lightweight division. Let's see how that shit works. Because it's going to be interesting to see who steps up and get one of these belts, man. And you still got that hitter. You still got that hitter over there, 135, Gervonta Tank Davis. You know, Gervonta Tank, you know, a Tank still look dangerous when it's just over there, just sitting and it's not running. You know what I'm saying? That's what Tank is. They still know he over there. He's still dangerous. They just wondering what the next mission is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't call Eastside Cruz a mission. I don't call Eastside Cruz a mission. Pass on deck. What's good with it? Keyshawn opponent. Let me get to the thumbnail. Shout out to everyone that's on deck. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button if you haven't already did it. But Terrence Bud Crawford and Brian McIntyre, man. You know, WBO has basically presented them with an award, you know, trainer excellence. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford being the fighter, you know, that fighter of the year. What makes this extremely special is that you have a team out of Omaha, black boxing team out of Omaha. You know what I'm saying? That has history together. Bomac has said that he knew Crawford when he was in the womb. I mean, what better what better backstory than this when it comes to boxing? What better story that you could say that's an extremely successful story at the end of the day, where your trainer actually knew you way back when, and the boxer stayed with you all this time. You seen that fighter grow up. And I think that was missing a lot prior to July 29th. I'm not saying missing from the hardcore fans that really paid attention to Omaha, Nebraska. I'm talking about those individuals that was worried about the wrong thing. They really wasn't paying close attention as the how close they were. Like, they weren't really trying to pay attention to Crawford, first of all. You know, he was on the radar, but people weren't trying to put in those coordinates because they thought, well, there's no need for me to really pay attention to what Crawford has going on, besides him holding the belt. And he was this, you know, with Julius Ndongo, he's undisputed 140. They act like they didn't want to pay attention. And they really didn't know the whole entire backstory. I hear a lot of people talk about Bomac's weight. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't know how close the Omaha team was over there until all the information started coming out in this all access. And, he and Bomac finally come out, because them dudes don't talk much over there in Omaha, for real. You know, this is the most we ever heard Crawford talk in the last several months. Even Bomac don't talk as much. You know what I'm saying? Bomac doesn't talk as much as people want him to. But what does talk for them is their performance and their portfolio. It talks numbers. You know what I'm saying? It talks those numbers that has played out in the ring. Bomac is a reputable world-class champion trainer. And for the WBO to recognize that, you know what I'm saying, WCS want to say congratulations to Terrence Bud Crawford and Brian Bomac McIntyre, especially with Bomac coming from the situation he was in, being confined in another country. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll let you listen to it. Hold on for a second. All right, listen to this right here, y'all. This is Brian Bomac breaking his silence, you know, on the situation that happened. And it's pretty interesting. Hold on for a second. Let me keep it moving until this come up. Hold on. I just don't want to stay muted for this long. Hold on for a second. I had the file. While we get that straight, man, somehow the when they happened, I recorded the audio from Bomac, and somehow it's not playing. But pretty much, you know, he was on the network. He was at Keyshawn Davis fight. That's one of his fighters, and you know, he spoke on it, even though his team advised him not to. Brian Bomac spoke on it, and I felt that was somewhat commendable for him to go ahead and speak on it. And I wanted you all to hear it before I pretty much go and elaborate on it. But hopefully, hold on for a second. Let me try to see if this, because I recorded it in real time when he popped up on the screen. Hold on. Well, I know what happened. I'll get to it. Um, but what I wanted to say about that particular team is that, their success does up to this point has been amazing, man. And the fact that Bomac was able to he said he had a team over there in the UK and he had a team over here in the US. So of course, he had to come out the pocket, and make sure he was able to walk away from that situation over there in UK. And he said that he is a licensed carrier and he had a piece of luggage with a firearm that had been in there for quite some time. And when you move back and forth as a trainer, right? When you move back and forth and you going from fight to fight, you can keep firearms in certain places and forget that they're there, especially when you're coming back and then you're not unpacking fully and you got that firearm in a nice little disclosed discreet location, and then you get ready to leave and you grab a suitcase. Now I don't know how many weapons he have, I don't know how many weapons that he have in his collection. I don't know. Is it possible to leave a firearm in a suitcase like that? Yeah, it's definitely possible. Especially if you come home and you're busy and you got to go back to the gym. You got to make sure you get this person in fight camp or they already in fight camp and your schedule is congested. Yes, it's highly possible that you can freaking leave a weapon in a suitcase like that. Yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? But me, I always check because I'm definitely strapped up. If I'm going from point to point, definitely. And I do. I'm a licensed carrier, but that don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Laws are laws. So you definitely got to check your luggage all the way through. If you that person, make sure you're not carrying no firearm in your luggage that you forgot about, so you won't get no surprises like Bomac got. I'm pretty sure Bomac will look back at this shit and say, you know what I'm saying? This is a moment that he thought he could say, oh man, it's a simple mistake. It's a simple mistake. I forgot that my firearm was in there and this, that, and the other. It was reports that it was 2 firearms. That way it gets a little, shaky to the point where you really need to do inventory of your luggage from now on. Because if you had a firearm in a piece of luggage, I know some people put firearms in clothes. When they take back, they'll put firearms in clothes. Why they do that is because that particular firearm, when you remove your clothes, you're going to know that it's heavier than what it should be. And you can remove the firearm, instead of just putting on luggage in a pocket or whatever. And you take it out of your clothes and you leave that firearm in the luggage, in that pocket. You know what I'm saying? There's many ways you can really, remind yourself that you have a firearm in there. But from my understanding, per the reports, that Brian Bomac had 2 weapons. And people acting like, oh man, how stupid are you? You're not supposed to be carrying. They're acting like carrying a weapon was something that, like, you had something more than that. Like you stole some money or something. You tried to get out of the country and you knew a person had reported losing their wallet and you had their wallet in your luggage. They act like it was some shit like that. No, the man had weapons. Yeah. Did it violate the law? Hell yeah, it did. But do people walk around carrying firearms? Do people love to travel in country? Hell yeah. Because they get to go over that motherfucker strapped. Period. They love traveling in country. You know what I'm saying? When they got to go out of country, of course, man, it's different laws, man. You know what I'm saying? What if it was me? I wouldn't have been home right now. I would have been looking at my next 5 Christmas minimal locked up over there. I wouldn't have had enough cheddar to melt, in the pockets of that legal team for me to come home. I don't care if they saying that Brian Bomac, got the sweet hand of the deal. So freaking what? You know what I'm saying? If you got the money, use it, goddamn it. Look, if you have emergency funds, use the motherfucker. Goddamn, this is emergency. I'm using my funds. I'm getting a legal team and I'm doing what I got to do just to make it back home so I can get back to work. Not spending 5+ years over there in the UK locked up. No. Say what you want, but money talks a lot. Money talks a lot, man. That type of conversation right there, you want that money to talk in the best way possible, especially you're in a predicament and it looks entirely bad for you. Really, really bad. But on a lighter note, I just want to tell these cats congratulations, man, because at the end of the day, man, they've known each other forever and a day, and they've had incredible success within the team. And for Bomac to be released back home so he can continue to work as a intricate role player. You know what I'm saying? He's an intricate role player for Team Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford looking at about however long he chooses to stay in boxing. He's 36 right now. So let's just say he chooses to stay in boxing. Get 4 more years, to the age of 40. He said he feel good. We don't know how long he's going to be here. But what we do know when it comes to the team, we have, Red Spike, Steven Nelson, Esau. He has a team that's there. That understands and is educated about boxing. The dynamic seems to be working extremely well. And I'm happy for that team. And people always tell me, oh, it's, black this, black team did. Well, you have a black team from Omaha that's doing the damn thing the way it's supposed to be done. Trouble will always be in boxing. Y'all can't sit up here and judge Bomac and say it affects his training. The man got caught up, violating the laws of a firearm. That doesn't have anything to do with his boxing license. You know what I'm saying? It's been people that's been caught for way worse. And when they served their time, they came right back to boxing, got a license, and went back to work. You will always have some situations in boxing that's on the highest, level of importance that people want to pay attention to. And this was one of them. Just like domestic violence. We heard this joint with Dimitri Bivol. It's always going to be some stuff going on with boxing, man. Boxing is not a stress-free sport. It never will be. But I always tell y'all, Brian Bomac has had an epic year. What I say that he mentioned to the Diddy James, man, it was absolute one of the most classic, profound lines ever in the sport of boxing. Reason being is that, so many people believe. And it wasn't even hype at this point. They believed that what was on paper was everything they needed to know. You know what I'm saying? Every piece of, information, every name, every date, that's all they need to believe on Spence. Being he came from one of the weakest Olympic teams in boxing, everything they need to know, they took it and ran with it. It wasn't even hype. It was just they believed that he was the guy. Based off whatever they was getting that hype from. I mean, not hype, getting that confidence. You know what I'm saying? They felt that Errol Spence was the guy when it came to Bud Crawford. And Bomac said the most epic line. He just told that man in a simple term, as if he hasn't even been a part of an undisputed title. That's what made it so prolific. He said, no more hiding, bro. No more hiding. Like, who does that? What am I hiding from? Who tells their coeval? Who tells them that? Who tells their colleague, their compeer? They're doing the same thing in boxing. They both had champion fighters. But Bomac told another champion trainer, no more hiding, when he had an undisputed champion in his stable inside the freaking world-class furniture store. He did. He had him there. And Bomac said, no more hiding. And people didn't see the severity of how that registered. How are you going to tell another champion trainer no more hiding? Obviously, there were some things going on behind the scene with Bomac and Team Crawford, especially with all the criticism that Crawford was getting as a fighter. For Bomac to even come out his mouth and said no more hiding to Derrick James. He said no more hiding, as if this dude was basically getting over. You're not who they say you are. I know you're not who they say you are. Period. No more hiding, nigga. It's on. Let's go. He said no more hiding, bro. Like, how do you do that when a man has 2 unified champions in his stable? How did Bomac even know? He's obviously been studying. That's a dangerous man right there. That's a dangerous team. They're going above and beyond to basically source out information on their opposition. They're willing to study. They're willing to build up a curriculum. They're willing to take notes. This man said no more hiding to a dude who had 2 unified champions in his stable. And also he had an undisputed world champion in his stable. And Bomac told this man, no more hiding. No more hiding. I know what you're about. When it comes to me, you can't fuck with me. You haven't went up against me nor my staff. He's telling Diddy James, no more hiding, behind these fights that you're getting and people believing that you are who you think you are. You ain't him. You're not going to outcoach me. I'm way better than you, and I'm going to prove it. I'm better than you. I'm going to prove it. And he did. He changed. He shook up boxing. Team Crawford shook up boxing in 23. They should get all the accolades that's coming their way in 2023. No other team shook up boxing like that. Team Crawford shook up boxing off one fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Off one fight that had a very energetic lead up. I like the presser energy. You know what I'm saying? The pressers that they had, even though, you know what I'm saying, it did get a bit more testy on fight week, which it should have, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the meeting that they had. Crawford and Spence jarring back and forth. Bob Arum being in the building. It was so many people in that little, meeting right there. Crawford saying some Nostradamus type shit, saying, oh, when I beat him, they say, oh, he was too weak. He stayed in the division too long. It's just a lot of words that you have to just archive, man, and put away. That's going to be talked about forever and a day. It's going to be people that's putting these clips together. You know what I'm saying? And it's information out there that just shines the light on this situation way more than what it is. And for these two to get an award, they did an incredible job this year as a team. And they shook up boxing so much to the point where they actually changed an entire fan base. Terrence Crawford, I can't even say he single-handedly, because it took him and his team, but his performance and his team advice, his coaches, and their planning, the strategy they came up with, it shook up boxing, and left it shook up to this day. It's still shook up because it was so much that was tallying up, right, to the build, of this fight. People continue to just chit chatter. I mean, people was actively engaged in this particular fight for years upon years upon years. And for a man, I can't even consider it to be David and Goliath, because I never really looked at Errol Spence as being Goliath. People try to use that. Oh, it was David and Goliath. How? If you're trying to say Crawford was David has to believe that he's going in there with a giant, and that never happened. But when the bell actually rung on fight night, they sounded the bell. Lives was changed because people invested so much of their time into this fight, so much energy, so much aggressiveness, so many emotions. They was goddamn. I mean, I'm talking about so much emotions into this fight, man, that when it started to play out and it started to reveal itself on how thorough Team Crawford was, the advice that Bomac was giving him in between rounds, and how Crawford was going in there executing. I mean, you just think about, will these people be the same dealing with a championship team like this? Will Diddy James ever be the same? Was Diddy James exposed by Bomac saying no more hiding? And for Bomac to also say something that was profound when he said, I've been here before. It was a lot of people leading up to this fight, July 29th, as if Bomac never been in that moment before. Like him and Crawford never earned that undisputed berth. They did. They've been there already. Got the t-shirt. And he told Diddy James that. He said, I've been here already. You trying to get to where I'm at. Look, that's knowing that he has Jermell Charlo in his stable. So pretty much what Bomac was implying, that you didn't build up Jermell Charlo for undisputed like I did. You can say what you want and you can fake it to the people, but I know the real. You know what I'm saying? You and I don't have the same history when it comes to undisputed fighters in your stable. Other people have a hand in that. It was just some shots that was fired, and the ammo was different. That's all I'm saying. The ammo was different. The ammo was different, man. And you're talking about the radius for which that damage, when he threw that damn dynamite over there, he threw that freaking frag grenade over there to Diddy James and Errol Spence. It was epic, bro. It was epic. One of the best performances, the best performances this year. You know, people are trying to downplay it because it went by so easily. But that right there, the lead up, perfect. The performance, perfect. This particular performance value, man, has never affected so many people mentally, psychologically. You know, I sit up here and did that video because that's what I seen. I seen, hey, this is a psychological process that's going on right here that's playing out in front of us with this Errol Spence and Crawford fight. It's a lot of people losing their minds. It's a lot of people that's believing that they need to come over here and talk about what's not going to happen July 29th. They actually believed everything. They thought Spence was him when Crawford was him. And just to think, you have human beings, right, that have the privilege to let their voice be heard speaking about this sport. And they witness it for themselves. A lot of people, millions witness this. And the after effect that it had, still to this day, it changed boxing forever, because in the process, it taught some people not to take boxers for granted like that anymore. You know, believing that, oh, they got to fight this person, that person to basically prove that they who they say they are. It taught a lot of people that. A lot of people have vested interests and energy into this freaking team. That team, Bomac and Crawford, was not who they say they are. They didn't respect them because they weren't from Texas. They was from Omaha. So they basically put us they put a value on that. You know what I'm saying? They put a discount sticker on their shit heading into July 29th. They didn't give them the markup value. They try to put that team on a clearance rack and say, this is the end. This is the end all be all for Team Crawford, because he's never fought nobody in his career. And he's pretty much a guy who's been able to get away with a lot. Nobody knew who Julius Ndongo was. And no one's going to know who Crawford is after July 29th. And God damn it, if that wasn't a bold-faced lie, I'm telling you the truth, bro. That shit was vicious. Oh, I'm gonna get back to that. Okay. Will not a bomb. That wasn't a dishwasher, cab driver, tomato. No, not at all. Not at all. Y'all can't use like FanDuel and DraftKings in the A. Nope. Sure can't. Keyshawn needs to fight Tito Mercado next. That's smoke since the amateurs. Tito doesn't believe he is that. Neither do I, or many others. Prove us wrong, do something. I'm pretty sure they are. You know what I'm saying? If you are talking about someone that he had a problem with in the amateurs, well, we all know Andy Cruz is still out there. So we don't know if that fight will ever mature enough. Andy's first fight was a 10-rounder. So I'm very curious to know if they're ever going to clash. I'm pretty sure Andy Cruz will probably be first in line than Tito Mercado, in my opinion. But yeah, Keyshawn has okay boxing skills. He is a good fighter. He is not great, and he is not special. He needs to respect the game and get right. I would say this, Ghost. What fighter do you know that's great at 9 fights? No matter what they do in boxing, what fighter do you know that's great in the sport of boxing? It's not many that we can say that was great at only non-professional fights. That's just point blank, period, man. It's not many fights. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not many fighters that get that recognition. Side. That's a great fighter right there, man. That's a great fighter. Look at David Morrell. He's doing a lot at the amount of fights that no one's calling him great. They really trying to gauge how good he truly is by putting him in there or talking it up for him to get in there with better competition. It's just extremely difficult to gauge a fighter at that little amount of fights, that minimal resume that he has, that small window of experience to say that this man is great. You know what I'm saying? Fighters may change levels. I don't know, but I can't find too many, you know what I'm saying, fighters that was basically said to be great at only non-professional fights, man. I disagree. It goes. Keyshawn is absolutely special. I saw high-level things there last night. He was breaking dude down. He just ran out of gas the last few rounds. Yeah, I mean, people are going to have assessments, real talk. I respect that. I definitely don't think he's overrated. I just think that he just needs to get a bit more locked in, for better words, locked in. But I'm curious to know what's next for Team Crawford, being that they received these awards. You know, just one of many, and you know, this is a Hall of Fame team. Bomac is definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame as a coach. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We already know Crawford is a Hall of Fame fighter. My biggest question is, I want to know what's next as far as what's on the horizon. There's still people that's not convinced that Crawford is who he say he is. And the only thing I can say is you still have individuals that's basically pointing the finger at Crawford based off their dislike for how he look, how he moves, you know, because this has all been public record. How he looks, how he moves, how he talks. Everything this man has been doing. They said he was reading flashcards off when he went live on IG. They were saying all that shit. They're steadily their focus is on the wrong area. And I just listened to how he was calling out Mel Charlo before. And then he switched it up and said, I want to fight Canelo. And then people were acting like, oh, well, he shouldn't be calling out Canelo. Why don't he stay down here? But if Canelo's doing something, they say it's daring to be great. If Crawford doing it, he's not following the policies that they're trying to set, that the fans are setting, or the critics are setting. Oh man, he's too small for that. He shouldn't do that. They're basically trying to say, I'll pick and choose who gets the tag of daring to be great. And Crawford, he's not daring to be great. He's just taking too much risk. He don't know. He's not in control of himself. He's losing it. You know what I'm saying? He's making decisions way outside the bounds. He's not really being reasonable with himself at this point in his career. He should wait 2 years before he. Man, come on. I mean, the shit just continues to pile up, and you know the introspective, my introspective to what I think about why people criticize Crawford the way he does, because they're pretty much fearful. This is how they build up their optimism. They're fearful that this man can potentially go up there and get the job done. Being that they don't like him as a boxer and a person, they see the danger that he presents if he was to go up here and make this challenge happen. Now, people get on here in the chat and say, oh man, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But then again, when you're having that heart to heart with themselves, they'll say, well, Crawford does have the potential to go up there and make it an interesting fight. You know what I'm saying? He does have the potential to go up there and upset Canelo. It's not like Canelo is unbeatable. He's been beat. He's gave it up. So they know that Crawford presents that degree of difficulty for Canelo. They just don't want Crawford to be the guy to do it. There's many many angles I can go with this. You know, being he's not one of the more popular fighters with Canelo. He's not one of the more popular fighters when you compare him to Canelo. Canelo is a very popular fighter, but Crawford isn't. So if you take an unpopular fighter and he goes in there and beat Canelo, coming off him beating Errol Spence the way he did, there's a lot of people going to have no other reason. I mean, they're going to have no other recourse except to say Crawford's the man. They don't want him to be the man. He doesn't really fit into the mold that they would like to praise. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got to praise Crawford. But he beat Canelo, I say. I don't care. I still don't like him. And then you're talking about a person who's doing this, you know, at 36 years old. Not only that, that would mean that Canelo has lost to 2 black fighters. It would have been Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Bud Crawford. That's not a good look. That's not a good look to some of the critics. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I know Canelo think about this too. That'd be another tough boxer that he's fighting. He would have fought Floyd when they say Canelo was green, when they thought Canelo was that lion, that beast. And then Canelo would have fought him on near the back end of his career, Crawford, and lost again. So when it comes to conversation, people would say, man, you know, Canelo had a problem with them technically proficient black fighters, man. He had a problem with him. Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford, he had a problem with him. They wouldn't even be talking about Bivol. They'd be talking about Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Bud Crawford, real talk. And you don't want that conversation to be, you know, active. They are official team family. The Davis family's mother is his manager. Yeah, man. Everybody's making money, right? Isn't that the way that it's supposed to happen? You know what I'm saying? Don't people talk about bringing family up? WJ looking on deck. What's good? Keyshawn just keep working with Floyd, Bud, and Shakur, gain that experience, and they're gonna jump on the wave. But I'm on the boat early. I mean, he's a talented fighter, man. One majority decision is not a loss, bro. Saying the man a bum, come on, man. How can you say the man a bum and he wasn't even on the canvas and he didn't get outworked? You want to talk about some bum status in front of your face? You should have been watching that DAZN card. That shit was just trash. Recycle bin etiquette. Samar One, what's good? Peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS certified. Stamp the like button and support the grind. No doubt I see you on deck, that's Samar. Appreciate you pulling up, my brother. Carlos said, hashtag Bomac free, trainer of the year, Bud, fighter of the year, 2 times, easy work, fish fry. Yeah, man, don't get talk about no fish fry on Sunday because you know, shit, people get hungry. You know what I'm saying? We getting a step closer, y'all. And I want to give a shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. Real talk. I'm not feeling my best right now today, but I'm still trying to get through this live. Congrats for the two-time. Much respect from the hottest MF and chat in the game. A-side official. Salute Team Crawford, Bomac, and Bud Crawford. Self-belief speaks volumes. Talk to him, Samad. Y'all on fire, man. He says self-belief speaks volumes. And I like how, you know, people with self-belief, they don't wait for others to basically determine, you know, their belief and how much they should then have confidence and respect for themselves, how they should move. I like people who pretty much independently, you know, understand that. Everybody can't be a leader. You know what I'm saying? What does leaders look like? They look like anybody you run into in life. That's what leaders look like. Leaders don't have to have a shirt and a tie on. It can be anybody. You know what I'm saying? It can be anybody that can be a leader. You know what I'm saying? It can be plenty of people that you underestimated. Or, you know, ones that you say, oh, that person looks like a leader. They are a leader. Okay, let me gravitate to them. When you have people that don't look like a leader, but they smart as shit. This happened more than people think. The TSA has confiscated thousands of guns exactly for that reason. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I'm just saying, like, if you are in a state that's carry, like, you know, Georgia, you don't have to have a license no more to carry a freaking weapon. All you have to do is be a certain age and you good. So you can only imagine how that is. Bro, you preaching I have money set aside in the savings account specifically as a retainer for my attorney. His name is Alex Kessel, one of the best criminal defense lawyers in the country. Damn. Okay. Hey, Alex Kessel sounds expensive. It sounds expensive, to be honest. Seems a little bit expensive. Make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate you, man. Jay on deck, what's good? Jamal Neasy, what they do, man? They don't want Crawford to be daring, to be great. They're acting like some LeBron James critics when he left Cleveland the first time. Yeah, that was crucial, wasn't it? For a man to leave, you know what I'm saying, and return and win them a championship. Come on, man. Come on, man. That man went back to Cleveland, man, and won them a championship after leaving, man. He said, I got some unfinished business, man. I got to head back over there, man. And he did it, man. That was legendary. Legendary. That was legendary, man. Appreciate it, Blunts. Always appreciate the hard work. Come back. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, man. You know, all the rest of them that support the channel. Like I said before, I'm not feeling the best today, but you know, we kicking it, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like me, man, I'm curious to know what's next in line when it comes to this particular fight. I'm really at a point right now where I want to see Crawford, face Tim Tszyu if he's not going to get Canelo. The people keep on bitching and complaining about freaking taking risks and daring to be great and all this other shit, man. That's a farce, man. When people have their bias set in and they have their mind made up, they'll sit up here and find a way to fabricate lies on the boxers just so, the casual boxing fans will look at it like, well, that person don't deserve to be here. They really shouldn't consider so-and-so as daring to be great. They just being reckless. You know what I'm saying? It don't make any sense that he's just not following protocol. What's the protocol? He's at 147. Just move up to 154 like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? To be, this boxer who's doing too much. You're doing too much. Really, you're just doing too much right now. You're just doing too much. Well, we saw Tim Tszyu, and like I said last night, either way, Tim Tszyu fighting for the undisputed, or Tim Tszyu fighting Crawford. Either way it goes, guess what? It'll be a good fight. I just want to know who he's gonna fight next. Is it gonna, be Crawford fighting for the WBO again, in hope of fighting Jermell Charlo for the undisputed? Because of course, he has a mandatory coming up, Jermell Charlo, and I don't think that he will risk fighting Terrence Crawford based off his mentality, his reactions, his impulsive behavior. I don't think he'll really give Crawford that open door. That's why I call bullshit on Charlo. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he'll give Terrence Crawford that open door. Unfortunately, Terrence Crawford may have to take the same route he did when he moved up from 40 to 47. He may have to go ahead and fight the Tim Tszyu like he did Jeff Horn. You know what I'm saying? Tim Tszyu coming off a pretty decent showing yesterday, but I really think Crawford goes in there and give Tim Tszyu a lesson. I really do. It's a reason why Tim Tszyu ain't calling out freaking Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Tim Tszyu is calling out freaking Jermell Charlo because, first of all, he has the other 3 titles, and he's a less difficult fight than Terrence Crawford, in my opinion. Real talk. But I have to commend Tim Tszyu with the Tony Harrison, Terrell Goucher, the Carlos Ocampo. You know what I'm saying? I have to commend him for going in there fighting Mendoza the way he did. I have to commend him for that shit. He did what he had to do. But when it comes to Crawford, I think a lot of people will agree with me that that's a different beast he has to deal with. That's a different type of boxer. Those names wasn't making him pay with those counter punches. They wasn't keeping him consistent and making him honest. You know what I'm saying? Say, okay, I really have to assess this as just following Crawford around the ring. I really got to pay attention. I can't just, be so easily, I can't be so comfortable with walking him around the ring, waiting for him to stop and then unleash a punch combination. I guarantee y'all that Tim Tszyu will fight Terrence Crawford different than he's fought any other of these other 4 opponents that he had. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If he finds himself fighting Crawford, I guarantee he fights him way different than he fought Mendoza last night. He's just not going to walk this dude down, walk him down. Not what he knows. And then if he get touched, it's not like Crawford cannot drop Tim Tszyu. He can. Mendoza just didn't commit to doing it. Mendoza didn't commit to picking his punches properly. And a lot of those shits he tried to sit down on, he was out of range and he missed badly. Sometimes if Tim Tszyu is unwilling to commit when you're doing all those feints and everything, well, after one of those feints you're doing, you have to commit on a shot. You can't just wait for him to throw the punch and then you counter. If he's not biting on your feints, then go ahead and try to stick him with something and make it count. At least a 2-punch combination. If you don't think you're going to land your power shot. You got to do something. You just can't sit on the ropes all the time, man. Let Tim Zoo tag off on you and get off. And then, continue to pack away rounds. You can't do that shit. But the biggest question is what's going to happen in 2024? What date is the fight going to happen? The good thing about what I know I don't have to pay attention to is, all the fake dates that would have been coming out if this information wouldn't have been presented, like February. February came out, so people are not going to come up here and say, oh, they're going to be fighting December so-and-so, like it was about to happen. Oh, they're going to be fighting December this. They fight in February, and we don't know what date February. And then, a lot of people want to know where the fight's going to happen. People was trying to imply that the fight was going to come down here in the ATL. I know they was on some bullshit, some stank. I know. Knowing damn well that fight wasn't going to come down here in the ATL. You know what I'm saying? People say dumb shit to get somebody to react and act like they're going to agree with it. The fight ain't coming down here in the ATL, dog. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you a little breaking news on that NYC news that dude broke. Okay, Blue broke that the fight would be potentially down here in ATL or either NYC. I'm gonna tell you. I just told you before it's not gonna be down here in the ATL, but I'm gonna tell you a reason why it's probably most definitely not gonna be in the NYC. Y'all ready? Because Errol Spence has issues going on. You have certain commissions, and every commission across the board in boxing is not the same, right? The reason why I say I don't think this fight is going to happen in NYC because I don't believe the commission is going to approve Errol Spence to fight in NYC. I don't think they are. I was speaking with a colleague of mine not too long ago, and they were saying like Errol Spence get pulled out of a fight for an eye injury. But then he goes to Vegas and fight with a supposed rib injury that all the damn Errol Six was talking about. So they were saying that NSAC is pretty much a lot looser than many freaking commissions. I'm telling you, that commission over there in NYC won't approve Errol Spence to fight. I'll be surprised. Remember I told y'all that. I don't think they're going to approve that man. I don't think they're going to approve that man. The fight in no NYC. Anybody who's residing over there should know how NYC commission get down and how tough it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shit is not going down the way you think. Now, if you're talking about fighting in Texas, he's going to get approved from Texas. That's automatic. He's going to get that approved from Texas. But I'm just saying, as far as that information that was released about ATL and NY, that shit ain't going down in either one of them. It's just mumble jumble gibberish. You know what I'm saying? It's just, a person speaking, being galimatias, man. It's not happening. It's not happening. So more than likely, you have to look at the commissions that's willing to approve this fight based off what's going around with, this residual neurological. These idiots want to sit up here and talk about residual neurological damage and just to basically devalue the win that Bud Crawford is responsible for. But yet they're hurting the fight from taking place in other areas. Talking, the residual neurological shit, because if Spence goes up here and he loses in NYC to Terrence Crawford and he doesn't make it out the ring consciously and he goes into a coma and becomes a vegetable, now you're going to have people coming up here saying, Why didn't y'all take and do more tests? More tests, more tests, more tests, more tests, more tests. You knew he wasn't ready to step in there after taking that beating July 29th. They're going to come with everything they can possibly come up with, bro. Everything that they can possibly come up with. They're going to try their best to say, we're going to blame this. We're going to blame. It's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to blame nobody. I'm just letting you know that I don't think he'll be approved in NYC. And and look, you want to talk about another commission that's strict? Georgia, shouty. It's short, shouty, when I tell you, Georgia commission is strict for boxing. Why you think we down here suffering, bro? Why you think we starving down here, bro? You can't bring any old fight down here to Georgia, man. The commission is strict as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of shit that goes on down here in the Georgia commission. It's a lot of shit. Like they don't have love for boxing, shouty, for real. Like you can put on all the freaking club fights you want. That OTX, that's just taken off, and that's not really a huge deal right now. I know what they're trying to do is good, what they're trying to do, but look how long Georgia been down here, man. You know what I'm saying? They had 2 tank fights and a Shakur Stevens Jamel Herring fight. But why are we starving them? Why we can't? Because Georgia Commission, man, they down some whole other level. They don't play down here, man. It's a lot of shit you can't get away with. And the age, you can't beat any boxers coming down here off the street. Talking about you want to goddamn fight on a freaking PBC card. You're going to get approved. You ain't getting approved like that, man. You can go to a lot of other states, but that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? NYC, you heard it from WCS that when people just be put out information, this information don't even think, it make you wonder, do they even consider, you know what I'm saying, what they're saying? Do they take in consideration that, you know, people are looking at Errol Spence in a way that they believe he's damaged goods? They believe he's not fit for duty. And you think NYC is going to take that gander on him? Seriously. You think Georgia's going to take that gamble on Spence? If that's the word that's out there? Come on now. Bud gonna do what he did to Jeff Horn, to Tim. I think there's certain similarities that may play out if he was to face Tim Tszyu, I don't look at comparing, the entry the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't line them up as everything being the same way. Like, yes, I've been on record as saying that he's gonna have to take the same route as going the WBO route, but I don't take his entry as far as the how he needs to go about, his plan for that entry. The same entry that he took for 147 fighting Jeff Horn is going to be the same with Tim Tszyu. There's no way that I can, basically put that on record as saying they're the same fighter. Hell no, I can't do that. Hell no. Can't do that, man. I cannot be on record saying that Tim Tszyu is going to give me Jeff Horn vibes. Hell no. They don't even fight the same. Even though they tend to want to pressure, but they're not the same fighter. They're definitely not the same fighter. Hell no. But I want to get back to that point with the Atlanta NYC. I don't think NYC will approve Errol Spence based off his past and what they believe is going on with him. I don't think the commission will approve that fight to be in NYC. I see two places the fight being approved, and that is Vegas and Texas. Now, I'm saying Vegas and Texas as far as Texas being Errol Spence's hometown. And we got Jerry Jones backing him. And then, of course, Vegas, where they already fought. And there's plenty of other regions that will want this fight in their hometown, but they're not big enough. They can't make money in those regions. So that's why they can't get the shit done. In Texas, yeah, automatic. If Terrence will say, okay, you giving me this amount of money at 154, I'm willing to fight in Texas. That fight will happen at AT&T, no problem. No problem. They won't have no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That shit's going down. That's going down. But two places you can scratch off your list is Atlanta and NYC. That shit ain't happening. That shit sound good, but it ain't happening, brother. That's all I'm saying. So I'm looking forward to the fight date whenever that comes up. Congratulations to Team Crawford, man. Y'all doing yourselves justice by continuing to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see Brian Bomac McIntyre back in the, where he belonged at home with his peoples. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the ones who said, hashtag free Bomac. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made it up out of there with a suspended sentence for 2 years, for 24 months. He had a 20-month suspended sentence. So you need to stay out of trouble over there within a 2-year period. You know what I'm saying? So if he's getting in trouble, I wouldn't even chance it, to be honest. I wouldn't even try going back over there doing my freaking 24-month suspension. I wouldn't even try going back over there. I'd be like, God damn it, we need to have fights. We need to focus on this. And then when my shit expire, I'll be back over there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we got some very interesting fights coming up, real talk. But I just wanted to highlight Team Crawford and how special they are. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say no to Twinkies in boxing. Okay. Just say no, because that's a different sweet science you just don't want to deal with. We have, the Demetrius Andrade fight and David Benavidez that we're looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? That fight is picking up steam. That's coming up quick in a hurry. I'm still looking forward to that Sonny Edwards and freaking Just Band Rodriguez. I'm looking forward to that fight. I think it's going to be a night of fireworks for real. I'm looking forward to that fight right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shakur Stevenson, Edwin De Los Santos. Shakur gets to contend for his third divisional world championship, and I think Shakur is going to put on a show. But give it up to De Los Santos, man. He's talking his shit. You know what I'm saying? He's talking his shit. I ain't mad at him. He's talking his shit at the end of the day. But let me come back home, man. I gotta take care of this freaking migraine for real. Jessica, what's good with it? Salute to you. Exactly WCS. I wouldn't step over there at all. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? For real. But I'll be back on a little later. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is not gonna subside. But I'll be back on a little later with a bit more energy. All right. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game, A-Side Official.